What's going on, y'all? It's Jason Reviews here, back at it again with another video. As you guys can see, as I talked about in my last video, this is my Summer Madness Wishlist, SM13 Wishlist. With the 2-on-2, debacle over, we're going straight into the next big events, you know what I'm saying? And for those of you that follow me, you know that I did the Gnome Wishlist video before it was announced as a 2-on-2 event for Gnome this year. So we're going to spin the block. We're going to try this again and see if it sticks. Naming 6 battles, keeping it, around relative to what a real card size would be, even though there's some options I think that you could swap in and out that I didn't put on here. But trying to be as realistic as I can. There is one battle on here that I will say I think is a little unrealistic that'll pan out, but a battle I really want, and I'll explain why. But for the most part, I try to make this card as realistic as possible, what I could really see going down on SM this year. Without further ado, let's get right into the wish list. So, first battle to talk about on the card is DNA versus Jerry West. Now, this one, obviously, I think has been promoted around a little bit, so it's easy for me to just put it on here when I see so evidently it's probably going to make an SM. But I'm really not mad at this battle either. One, I think Jerry really needed a shot on a big stage again. He's built up momentum once again. The only Gnome I believe he's gotten besides, this 2v2 before that was Loso on day 2 of Gnome 11. So he really hasn't had, those, 4 front shots, a real 3-rounder, Gnome look. A real Gnome look or a real SM look, just big stage, in that moment. So it's good to see him get that test. DNA's been promoting with him for a while, and I don't think anyone's going to be like, why is DNA on Summer Madness? Kind of crazy. DNA's 2021 to now is probably the best version of DNA. In this long-ass career, I'd say right now, he really might be at his best. So it'll be an uphill fight for Jerry, but you throw a guy that's been at that top of mid-tier, trying to break through the top tier. Had a couple good joints, the Danny joint, the John joint, he's done good versus top tiers on a few occasions, but this is the one where, maybe if he's able to get a win, we start talking about Jerry in that top tier conversation. But I think this is a battle promo, just really easy to book, and they book it. From there, another one that's been, clearly is probably going to happen with the way it's been promoted, Fonz versus Shotgun Shug. Not a lot to talk about here. They've been going at it for a minute. It was on my Gnome wishlist video, then there was no goddamn Gnome, so here we are with Fonz and Shug, and this is powerful, Two of the bigger guys. I would say 2 big stage performers, but we really need Fonz to answer some big question marks on his name in terms of what he can do in a real 1v1 battle on the big stage. As for Shug, a little bit back to what he's maybe known for this year, where you get some good Shug and you get some losses. You know what I mean? You get the Shuni battle. Sheed battle, I'm not going to really put on him. It's a debatable battle. I personally edge Sheed, but the energy was dead in the building. And then as for him and Kid Slade, probably his best look of the year, in a contested battle where he won pretty clear. So now you get Fonz, and a guy who's on that newer path, but I think Fonz is as close to top tier as a lot of those new guys are, who haven't already jumped into top tier. Just makes a lot of sense. They've been talking a lot of shit. Saving all predictions on any of these, obviously, for if they get announced, I do predictions on them. Fonz and Shug has to be on SM. Now this one is my unrealistic one. I don't think this one will go down, but I think it'll be great for SM and reward another guy who's been on a great run recently with a legend who we want to see battle again, and that is Chef Trez versus KShine. I love this battle. I love this battle. I don't see it getting booked really because of the way things have been going with Shine. Obviously, we've seen he's been disgruntled, done some interviews talking about how disgruntled once again he is with the URL business process. So for all we know, it's not going to go down. I know that people want to see him in Twerk. I know that's not going down, right now, with the way they've been talking about it. And he's got all these matchups, the Losos, the Fonz, right? But I think Chef Trez is great. Chef Trez has been on a real streak as of recent. Just everything from show off to Twerk to John really might be the best year of his career already, making that claim for top tier possibly. And I think that KShine battle is a great way to keep battling upwards and earning bigger plates. I also want to say I wouldn't be bad at Chef Trez in clips if we want to do that, but I think Shine is someone we really all want to see, haven't seen in a minute. Likeliness of it getting booked, I don't know, but I think the aggression would really work here. I think there's some performance aspects that go to it. You add in Chef Trez's rebuttal factor that can just really blow the roof off a building at any point in time. Chef Trez versus KShine, like I said, unlikely, really would love it on the card. From there, we get into the top 3 battles, and before I talk about these 3, I think any of these 3 battles damn near could be the main event or the headliner. And why I want to say that is I think a big thing I've heard recently is that if they booked SM, where's the headliner? Where's the headliner? And I will say, with losses, Surf, you know what I'm saying, Free to Wave, going to jail, right? Then Easy and his issues with the URL right now. You even take the fact that Shine isn't really like battling like that and is having issues. There isn't, there, in terms of like the main event slot, over all the other battles main event, maybe it's not available. Maybe just one battle that supersedes all the rest of the battles, and unless you really just like take something that we haven't heard of yet with big names just to do it, there's not that superseding one. But I counter that with there's a lot of events, bro, where there's no number one above all main event. You go to SM last year, obviously Surf and JC got the credit for the main event. If you told me Easy and Cal was the main event, or Rock and Swamp was, I probably would have believed you too. You know what I'm saying? Even Gnome last year, Tay, Rock, and T-Top was in the main event. But it is only third in the card. Like, it was just announced first. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think people look at that battle as a main event. And I just say that to say, as long as we get, and tell me in the comments if you agree, this is one that's important to me. As long as we get like 6 great SM-worthy battles, forget the headline, whatever, you announce first, but you got to announce first. If we get 6 battles with the name power that are just great Summer Madness battles, we just want a good card. Fuck that, we can't book without a main event, without this and that. So many times they've done it. I guarantee you, not everybody here can name the main events for the last few Gnomes and SMs. You know what I'm saying? I can, like, because I gotta study it hard. But even then, I'm like, oh, people probably don't know that's the main event because they never really talk about it. They just say things sometimes. The SM10, KShine and Chess was the main event. You know, it's a great battle, you know what I'm saying? But it's not, I didn't know it was the main event until you read it and just someone writes it down in the stat book. So, little rant right there. I know a lot of people bitch about the main event. But on to these top 3 battles. First one, Swamp versus Verb. Real easy right there. Been promoed up. I want Swamp in this card regardless. And honestly, I don't know if Verb really should be on SM right now with the state of how he's been rapping. But he's promoted his way into this one. He has a ton of looks to get done. And this is one of those top looks. So Swamp and Verb, don't even have to talk about it that long. Obviously, I think that'll be on the SM card. From there, we get into the top 2, my favorite 2 battles on the card. One returning from the Gnome Wishlist, Twerk versus Av. Please, please, please book Twerk versus Av. Please book Twerk versus Av. Finally, they've been going at it again on Twitter. I've been seeing them tweet out each other's pictures. This is meant for the big stage. This is power-punching big stage performance to a T. Av has been better on big stages the last few years in small rooms. It's just true. He's been extremely explosive. Contrary to his Gnome Impact performance, that was pretty disgusting from him and Fonz, but it's really the rarity if you look at the last 4 to 5 years of big stage performance from him. And it's just, with Hollow off the board really for either, it looks like Hollow's not going to be on SM. Even Twerk, another power puncher, who's been on maybe the most consistent run he's ever been on at this moment. It just looks incredible. The writing, the creativity, the haymakers. This could just shake the building to the core. You know what I'm saying? This could easily be the battle of the night if this card was to get booked. And I think now is the time. It's now or never. It got canceled on Volume 5. It's supposed to happen here. Give it to us on SM, and we're 2 guys who can shake that stage like no other. And that leaves me with the last battle to talk about, a battle that I pitch as the main event. I say you announce this one first and see what happens. But probably won't go that way. Either way, I think it's an SM battle, and that is Rum Nitty versus Calico. Now, me personally, it's been a battle I've wanted forever. I always said doing it in a volume particularly. But just the fact to get this battle, and just the way I see it, so hard to get bigger talents to pop out and really do it. It's hard to, like, do it only for one card or save this matchup for this. You just got to book great matchups when there's an opportunity to book great matchups. And even with them calling each other out recently, a little bit of back and forth, I just think this is such a good battle. You have Nitty, who I think needs to be on SM. Just had Champion of the Year, has main evented every battle that he has done this year, although some of those battles aren't versus the biggest of talent, but was just part of the Gnome Impact main event, for instance. And then as for Calico, Calico needs to be an SM. It really doesn't matter who Cal battles. This man just always pops out for this event for a reason. Number 1 all-time in SMs with 9 SMs. So 10th right here. I think Rum Nitty just fits perfectly in that long catalog of legends that Cal's taken on these big events. And I think it's a great style clash to see what Cal does versus punching up there. It's been a minute since we've seen Cal. Battle Fonz in a 1-rounder, but a real 3-round battle, having to strategize how to beat a puncher. He said a puncher can't beat him. It's You lost to Heartless, so it's already kind of untrue, but Cal's my guy. I think that he's going to be incredible. I think Nitty would rise to the occasion and be incredible. And I think just off of pure talent, same way they made Tay-Rock and T-Top really the main event last year, off of pure talent, I think these names could do it. But either way, I just think it will be part of the card and will just be another great addition to it. And that is my full wrap-up for the 6 battles I want for SM here. DNA versus Jerry West, Fonz versus Shug, Chef Trez versus KShine, Swamp versus Verb, Twerk versus Av, and Rum Nitty versus Calico. You'll see no Rock or Geechee. I mean, they've just been like in terms of matchups. When they were the lead men of the company, they were really used as the lead men, main eventing like for Geechee like 8 to 10 times a year, Rock battling like 4 or 5 times a year back when that was considered a lot. So they've ran out of events, but I still think this is a great card, and this is without booking any of the new guys. You could do a Flair Soul versus a T-Top or Danny or something of that nature. You could do Jazz versus Hustle rematch on this card. There's so many options. These are the ones I picked. You guys let me know down below in the comments. What would you do for SM? What matchups did I miss, or is there any of these that you particularly loved on there? We're definitely getting that mindset, and it would be great if this would be a great URL event. I think this year, as I said multiple times, they've really struggled in these first 6 months. Very similar to last year, I thought they did, and they picked it up in the second half. You give me a good SM, you give me a good volume, and things probably 180 and come back around. But even if it's not this card, some of these names, some of these matchups, I think all really deserve this. And I'm just really excited to get some really competitive battle rap on the highest level. So it's been J Small Reviews again, y'all. As I said, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of the headliner situation for SM, and let me know what you want on the SM card. I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.